Hi, this is David Bromberg with VuWall. I'm one of the business development directors here in the United States. I'm also here with Nick Mathis, my counterpart, covering the U.S. from border to border. You know, it's interesting. If you take a look at some of the operation centers, let's focus on the emergency operations center space in particular. This is typically where you have police, fire, and other entities from the city coming together in the time of crisis. In the world we live in today, this is happening more often than not, especially with all the weather changes and global climate changing, et cetera. So it's really critical for these solutions to be up and running and to allow them to accomplish their missions. Most recently, we did a deployment up in the Pacific Northwest, an emergency operations center in a critical space, in a critical city, where a lot of weather patterns have a tendency to impact this particular city and area of the country. And it was interesting for me when I was on site because, you know, we're agnostic on both the source side and the display side. So we'll take any source, whether it's HDMI, web browsers, IP camera feeds, and we'll put it up on any display. That could be LCD walls, LED walls, or via projection. In this case, we had a couple of projectors that were doing some edge blending work, and it was a very large emergency operation center, but it wasn't just the main wall that they were hitting. We had adjacent rooms and briefing rooms, meeting facilities. In fact, there were a couple downstairs as well where some of the administrators and managers would come in. They wanted to see the content on the wall, but there was too much going on upstairs with all the different departments that were coming together and collaborating. So it's really important when a system like this is deployed, when a solution is deployed like VuWall, that we can support not only what's taking place in the EOC, again, regardless of the display and the source type, but also in the other adjacent rooms and facilities.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about EOCs, these are, like you said, they're crisis rooms where they don't know what they're going to need to address and they don't know where what they're addressing is coming from. Right? It can be something from the police department or the fire department or from traffic management, wherever they're getting this video from. So they need to be spaces that can leverage all of that and do it in a way that makes sense for the type of event. So when we talk with EOCs at EOC shows or when we're at end users, these people have, usually they're in a coat closet, right? These are small spaces, but they have other rooms, they have meeting rooms and things. And when we tell them, you build your video wall management, for your main space, and then you have a meeting room, throw a node behind that TV, you need a single network drop, and all of a sudden you have another video wall. Their eyes light up. These people need capabilities like that for when something goes wrong, to bring in everyone they need to properly address the situation, and to have the tools to address it in any number of spaces, depending on the type of incident.
That's a great point. And it wasn't too long ago when the EOC or the Security Operations Center was a small, I want to say almost an afterthought room, a space that was designed after the other rooms in the facility were built. Today, however, those spaces are really critical in the design of the entire facility, and they're allocating more square footage because they realize the importance of these different groups coming together and collaborating to make sure they manage through a crisis effectively.
And these are people that come from a variety of backgrounds, right? In an EOC, you might have people that are former police officers, former military, public officials. To borrow a term I learned at an EOC show, you have the people in suits and tactical khakis, right? You've got different types of people in these spaces, and they need systems that they can use themselves. They can't rely on an integrator coming back to change a button on a control panel if they need to have a new layout on their video wall. They have the need for a toolkit that they can use and service themselves. So to be able to give them a single platform, one for managing all of their video sources and destinations, but also for easily maintaining and updating control of their system is critical in EOCs. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nick Mathis, joined by David Bromberg from VuWall. If you'd like to learn more or you'd like a live demo of our solution, visit us at vuwall.com/demo.